Bring the podcasting couch on the road to Darren's place, Crisp Recording Studios. Super stoked. See how this goes. Here we are, Crisp Studios. Recorded here back in '98 with my band Sober. It was really cool to come back and connect with Darren a few weeks ago and hang out, and hoping to do some more recording here with him soon. Beautiful, beautiful space.
Hello, Mr. Durham. You brought lunch.
My man.
Awesome.
What's
Thank
up?
you for coming. I appreciate you breaking stride with your standard
Hey, this is
joint that you usually do.
This is the first podcast on the road.
Yeah, this is cool.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
So you took over, 99, it would have been right around 2000. Came in with Sober, we did 3 tracks, Crawl Space, Salvation, and Visions. And actually, Outlaw Kings is going to be playing 2 of those in our set.
Cool. So when you uploaded those to YouTube, I listen, it's like, wow. I mean, how cool you guys were. And of course,
so much fun.
Played it for my wife immediately.
Yeah.
And
we were kids, man.
Well,
we were kids.
That kind of stuff and those memories just mean everything to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big deal. And you'd mentioned it being a good memory, and I'm just like so grateful for that, because
yeah, we were big time, man. We thought we were big time. Like, we're going to the real studio, and it was an amazing experience. I'll never forget it. And I really want my son to have that experience too.
Cool.
And
is he 14?
Just turned 13.
13.
Yeah, so I think I told you when we had our last conversation here kind of how Durham Fest got started. It was him, because we're out in the country. And when I was growing up, we had it was Hannah Fest. So it was a guy my dad worked with. He had a place out in the country, had an 18-foot flatbed trailer, and my dad has always been in cover bands, and so my dad's band would headline, and whatever band I was in would open up. But it was just a great time, just friends, family, out in the country, having a good time, people would camp, whatever. He ended up stopping that fest. I think it kind of got out of hand as far as him wanting to mess with it, but I'd always wanted to do that, and we're out in the country. We've been out there almost 10 years, and I'd always talked about doing a festival. And so Walter, when he would have been 11, I guess, at the time, he goes, "We need to do it. You need to do it this year, Dad, or we're not going to do it, or you're never going to do it." I was like,
wow.
Fine. All right. I'll send a message to the guys and see what they say. And of course, yes, immediately.
Love that.
He got Durham Fest pretty much started, by just nagging me on it. And then, and now he's, we initially, the first year we played, had a good show. The second year, he had been around the drum kit a lot, and so he had been playing Gary's kit. And I was like, well, let's just do a song together, just the 2 of us.
Cool.
And we'll bring Dad in, because my dad's a player. So we all did one song, a song called Masquerade. It was the first song I wrote for the 4th Durham album, back around the time he was born,
wow.
12 years ago. So we did one song at Durham Fest 2, and that just lit a fire under him. I mean,
Does your dad play guitar?
He's actually a guitar player. So what we've done is we've moved him to, like, now that we're an official band, Durham Fest 3 came around and we did a 30-minute set as a 3-piece. And I was like, if we're going to continue this, I need Dad on guitar where he belongs. I mean, the guy's, he's incredible. But he's always played in cover bands. So it's been an interesting transition for him, going from learning other people's parts to kind of writing his own. But we've been collaborating on that kind of stuff, and it's been a blast.
Okay, so I know it's your podcast.
But you're the guest. You need to do the most talking.
Well, I'm just curious. Did you grow up in the country?
Yeah.
Like you live now?
Yeah.
So
well, the first few. Well, my grandfather on my mom's side had 400 acres up in Elkin, so he had a big farm out there to go. I grew up in the country lived in Florida when I was real little, moved up here at about 5. So I spent about 5 years in the country, kind of between 5 and 10. And then we moved into town a little bit. But I've always said that, and I've always wanted to get back out to the country. But one of the things that I was trying to lead up into this was, you told me you played with your son.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we had a conversation. Like, I want to know what that was like and how that got started.
It's just I'm envious because I can see that you're right in the midst of that.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the greatest highlights for me is to
Yeah.
be able to buddy up with your kids and
Yeah.
do something together, sharing
Yeah.
that. And, but yes, so my older boy, he just I think we got him a guitar one year, and he just started on his own ripping on it in his bedroom, and sounded really good, just picking stuff up, playing like AC/DC and
Sure.
stuff. So, like, yeah, hearing him play, and I'm like,
How old was he when he started?
he was 10.
Oh, wow.
I think.
Young.
Yeah. And so
You remember
he's just
what
picking
guitar
this
was?
stuff
What kind of guitar
by
was?
ear.
By any chance?
I think I got him an SG.
Right on.
And I think it's because he was listening to AC/DC.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
but yeah, but he was keeping this thing in tune and just sounding good, had a real aptitude for rhythm.
Right.
And at the time, so this would have been, let's see, 95, 96, yeah, maybe 2005, 2006. And we're amidst the big war, against terrorism, Iraq and Afghanistan, and I was kind of like freaked out by all that. In fact, even at the time, I went to the recruiters just to see if there was any way I could sign up. And I was fit and just like motivated.
You still are, actually.
Well,
you put people like me to shame, Darren.
Well, and man, that was, think about it, that's 19 years ago. Yeah, I would have only been like 39 or something, I don't know. But yeah, they say, oh, well, you don't make the age thing. So
you tried to go?
Yeah, I don't know, I was kind of little bonkers.
Man, how unprofessional. Getting the ding. I thought I'd turn this off on the way over here. That's always the best part of the podcast.
Would you mind rolling? Oh, come this way a little closer. So, so I wrote a record for the troops.
Really?
Yeah, and sent a couple thousand Iraq, to some bases and stuff.
Really?
And then somehow some gigs cropped up, and I gave the record to my son. I said, well, learn this stuff, and it was hard, rock, but it had kind of a bit of a progressive element to it, little
You still have the
ingredients.
tracks?
Oh yeah.
I'd love to hear those sometime.
But he just sat there and in a month's time learned every tune, by ear. Because he doesn't, didn't read charts or anything, and I think he was 11. And then, so we had this gig where a senator was speaking at a big rodeo arena in Texas or whatever, and they had us come and play for this monster arena,
No kidding.
And it was so freaking awesome because, he had his hair all spiked and
what
radical.
a cool opportunity.
And so we got to play a big show together.
Right on.
We did a couple other small things, but anyway, so I'm just envious of your situation and getting to do that and be creative, and I kind of eat my heart out because they're growing up now, and I
know, I'm already dreading those days.
Yeah.
And you impressed upon me something, very serious last time we talked. It was like, make the most of this, because this, kids move around with their hobbies. He could drop interest in this tomorrow.
Yep.
So it's like,
life just boom.
And who knows? He may stick with this for the rest of his life. I don't know. But like you said, make the most out of every bit of it.
Well,
you never know.
and he might, and even if he does, though, it's like this moment is like gold.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
never duplicatable, you know.
Yeah, and at
It's
some
like,
point, I want him to be able to have his own band with his people, his peers, his age,
Yeah.
doing their stuff,
Yeah.
But what a cool opportunity to be able, not just with him, but with playing with Dad. Because Dad and I mean,
Yeah, that's
he
crazy.
taught me my chords in 3rd grade. I didn't really do much with him until 7th grade. That's when, to me, I really connected with music, because before, I had on my dad's records, but those bands weren't really active anymore. They weren't necessarily radio relevant, right? So the 90s comes along and you have Pearl Jam and Nirvana and Alice in Chains and all these bands coming out, and that really connected with me.
Yeah.
I was listening to, in 3rd grade when I learned guitar, I was listening to MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice. It's like,
That's a different.
you're a 3rd grader, and fads kind of take you in a direction. It's like we had early rap, and the girls had the boy bands, right? Like New Kids on the Block and stuff, and it was all very. It was just a wild time. But yeah, that 90s music really spoke to me, and that's when I really started getting impassioned into it.
Cool. Well, so anyway, you've inspired me because I've reached out to Ian, the son I was just talking about,
Yeah.
and his younger brother, who, my gosh, blows us all away with innate musical talent. But
Really?
But he just has no interest in really pursuing it
Isn't that
anymore.
funny?
Oh, he's just amazing. But I'm
Drive you nuts?
suckering them both into, man, just one tune. Let's just do one tune, because we never played together.
Yeah.
And so if I can pull that off, I may have to
That'd be
pay
awesome.
him money or something. I don't know. We'll see. But if I can pull that off,
They'll come through for dear old Dad. They'll do
be
it.
a treat. Yeah.
That would be awesome. I can't wait to hear what comes
What
from
about
that.
your younger boy? Does he have any
Musical?
snifflings toward music?
He has got so many hobbies. I mean, he's into fishing, dirt biking, everything manly.
Is he
He's
10?
Is he what? He's
10?
10. Yeah, he just
Yeah.
turned 10. Him and I actually tried playing together. He's actually a really good drummer, but he is chaos.
Yeah.
Like he just wants to write like he progressive kind of stuff. Just
Really?
stuff that's weird.
Yeah.
And like not normal.
Yeah.
And I'm
Well,
a very pop oriented.
He just wants to express.
Yes.
To it, which I love that. I just had a guy in here, Sam Smith, and he's an older, well, what am I saying older? I think he's only like 60 or something. But he's had a heart attack and 3 strokes, but has this long history drumming.
Bad run.
Yeah, just and something, he's had a kind of a shift in his wiring as a result, where he just doesn't want to play with any canned, boundaries whatsoever. He just wants to play as a product of therapy. you
Right,
know?
right.
And he came and set up his insane drum kit. He's got these Sonar SQ2s, which are like the Rolls Royce of drums, right? And he's got every custom cymbal known to man. And just wanting to be free. And there's something just really special about that.
No,
too,
absolutely.
and embracing it.
Absolutely.
And so we're just taking that playing and just wanting to get creative and add elements and just just like whatever.
Yeah.
He just wants whatever.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. It's just hard for me in my pop structure mind
Yeah.
to play, and I've tried playing with him. We've come up with some cool riffs, but then it's like, how do you turn this into a pop song?
Song.
It's like, yeah, so I think he gets frustrated with me that I'm not like hearing what he's hearing,
Right.
Because I'm a very structured, being a songwriter, you have your sound and style.
That could be, what if you made that just a different project?
Yeah.
Like, this is okay, we're just going out, man. You tell me what you want. And maybe you're just feedback
Well, the
on
thing
your
also
amp
is
or
that he's
something,
on to the next thing every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's like, one day he wants to play drums, next day he wants to go on a dirt bike ride. It's like he has more hobbies than the other two combined. Like my
Did you
oldest one-
grow up similar to them, as far because they just seem like free?
No, I was I love my mother to death, but I was her only son for a long time, very religious. So like, you know, she didn't like me listening to metal or the
Gotcha.
Doors or, you know, it was like, so
Because you got these boys, they're just free as birds.
yeah, I'm raising
there.
them like it was the 70s, you know,
Yeah.
like go out and it's weird. You have three,
I've got three,
Right, yeah.
daughter and then two
and then your boys.
sons.
Yeah. So I'm sure you experienced this as well. Your daughter's the oldest, right?
Yeah.
So you raise her probably a little bit more protectively. It's your first child. I know we certainly did. You know, we're putting the, you know, things in the outlets and locking the cabinets up. By the time you get to the third one, it's like, drink some of that Drano and you're going to get sick. You know,
Yeah.
stick it in the socket. It's going to shock you.
Right.
You know, it's like you lax up on some things. And so it's just so wild how differently they turned out. Like my oldest one is just a super brain. He's into robotics. That's his life. Everything he pours into robotics. So I hardly ever even see him. Of course, Walt's doing drums right now, and then the little one, he's
Well,
a
how
wild
old's
man.
your older one?
15.
Oh, okay. Because he's not. I haven't seen him as much.
He doesn't like the public eye. He's
Gotcha. Cool.
He's
Isn't it interesting how they're all so divergent?
It's like,
mean,
did you ever read the Harry Potter series?
No.
Are you familiar with that? You
I
know,
mean, I
there's a
watched, I think, the first movie. That's about it.
Well, there's a premise in there called Horcruxes, where basically Voldemort splits his soul into 7 pieces, and each of those pieces has to be destroyed in order to kill it. Anyway, I feel like my kids are like different splits of my soul. Like me and my
Yeah.
oldest one, like we love book clubbing together. We're both nerds, sci-fi, fantasy, stuff like that. So we have a deep connection there. Music, obviously, with the middle one. My youngest one's playing football. You know, I love playing, you know, ball growing up and outdoorsy stuff. So it keeps it diverse, but it also keeps it very, like, you're on the move all the time.
You know, football, because I know you played football, because that was my whole life growing up.
Was it really?
Oh, yeah. It was.
Where did you play?
I was in Colorado.
Okay.
And
Because what year did you move to Arkansas? I know you told me.
99.
Oh, that was when you moved to Arkansas.
Yeah.
Okay.
We moved here
From Colorado?
completely blind. Didn't know anybody, but came here, you know, for the studio. And yeah, it's kind of crazy how
That
you
is wild.
just
But tell me about your ball days.
well, my dad was the coach first, so when I was 5, I was able to get on the 7-year-old team. So I started like really young.
Really?
And by golly, it like ruled my world. I was like
Really?
football all the way.
Football for life.
Yeah, and
Is that the only sport you played, or?
oh, I played tennis, but then when high school hit, the seasons conflicted, so
Yeah.
I forewent tennis and
What position did you
football.
play?
I was a quarterback.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Learning all kinds of new stuff about this fella.
Yeah. And then at college, I had some injury and a couple surgeries, and I had to retire. Not to
Did
mention.
you play in college?
Well, no, not. I was on the squad, but ended up
Getting busted up.
Well, not from football, from crazy lunatic working out stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I used to experiment and do some crazy stuff.
As kids are wont to do.
Yeah. But so upon wrapping that up, it was like this awakening, because I had grown up with music being this, you know, this thing that served a different part of me, but was always there.
Yeah.
Starting with the Beatles, and I remember in the first grade getting my first Beatles album, and then And then my parents, because I just died for the Beatles, and for birthday and Christmas and stuff, they'd give me gift certificates to the record store.
Oh, nice.
And I'd go in there, and I had all the Beatles albums, ended up with triples of all the albums. And yeah, just loved that. And then migrated to somehow just became a Led Zeppelin crazy.
That's funny how those are both of our favorite bands, like the Beatles and Zeppelin.
Well, and it's interesting because
they're so
you know,
different.
as a kid, you get burnt in to be an older sibling or whatever, and get introduced to things. But then, at least for me, I would just tunnel in for some reason. So I was just nuts. I mean, I would listen to, I loved Jeff Beck. I loved Pat Travers. I don't know if you've listened to much Pat Travers at
I haven't
all.
listened to a bunch, but I'm definitely
You need
familiar
to pick or go to YouTube and look at the listen to the Pat Travers live album. So
I
Pat
will.
Travers
I'll
live,
check it out.
Captured live.
I'm always
I think it's
looking
just
for
live.
new
Oh,
inspiration,
oh,
especially
that's.
from,
I'm telling you, you're
from the
gonna-
older era.
Well, Pat Travers is still touring relentlessly. He
Yeah.
started his career in the late 60s. And yeah, but still like clubs, you know. Pat Travers is like Nuno Betancourt's like #1 inspiration.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that funny
In
how
fact,
you hear?
And Nuno just arbitrarily went and did a big long leg of a tour with
Right.
Pat Travers in just these mucky clubs. And, but he has the coolest arrangements and funky, I mean, just really cool.
Yeah.
People just don't know him. But, you know, we get these blind spots, you know, young, you know, you get so invested in certain groups. So, like, I missed on other
Right.
groups that are cool.
Right. Yeah.
You know, Rolling Stones, of course, are amazing. But as a kid, you know, the Beatles were the good guys and the Rolling Stones were the bad guys. So
Could you imagine being a band in the '60s trying to get a #1?
Oh, boy.
You're screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, at one time the Beatles had like the top 5 singles out. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, how did you punch through? Like, you know, Creedence never had a #1 during.
You see,
Like, and they should have, and they would have had the Beatles not just dominated
right.
the charts for a decade.
Well, it's like Zeppelin, you know, was so front and center, but you had
and they didn't
people
even
like
do
the-
singles.
like the James Gang.
Oh man, that's
The
one of my
James
favorite bands.
Gang flipping
And they're sloppy.
could have been a Zeppelin, though. I mean, they could have. I feel like I just thought Joe Walsh was just
Oh.
a nutbag.
Oh,
and
he was
cool.
a wild man. Yes, but if you've ever listened to the recordings, like there's mistakes.
Oh yeah.
Like it was just raw, and I
Yeah.
I love that. To me, that's rock and roll.
Yeah.
You know, the more polished it gets, and the more, it almost sounds synthesized. Like AI can write a song,
Right.
Right. But you listen to a James Gang song, and that sounds like there's dudes in the room doing it that
Yeah.
are passionate about it. And also, the '70s, the guitar playing was so creative.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, you had the black blues, obviously, was where a lot of that stuff came from. You know, and in the '50s, you know, people were starting to get into licks. Of course, there's the famous scene in Back to the Future where Michael J. Fox is playing, you know, he calls Chuck Berry. But, you know, then guitars started getting a little bit more sophisticated in the '60s, and I felt like in the '70s is where it really just clicked. You know, bands like Skinner and Kansas. I mean, the things they were doing with dual guitars,
Yeah.
you know, doing different things. It's like the '80s you started really relying on synthetic stuff, and the guitar playing got a lot faster, shredding, you know, Van Halen kind of stuff. You know, the '80s was a wild decade, but to me, the '70s, as far as like rock and roll goes, was the peak.
Yeah. Well, nothing's better, at least for me. I'm old school and kind of a purist at heart for whatever reason, but it doesn't get any better than setting a group up in here. Just, you know what I mean? Just straight up old school
Yeah.
and playing and doing takes. I had a young group in not too long ago, high school kids. Their name is Honeydew.
Okay.
And they're classic, just stinking practicing in the garage and refining their deal. And they just came in here and just set up and played their tunes, and it was awesome.
Yeah, that's
They're
fun.
so good.
How old were they?
Well, high school.
Okay.
I think the drummer is a girl, and I think she's like maybe 16 or something, but lethal. Just good.
Isn't that crazy
really
how when you put your mind to it, these kids are so talented.
Yeah.
I mean, blows me away. You know, watching Walt, for example, when he first started, I knew he had some talent, but you also have to put the work in, you know. And it's like, if you put the work in, then you can be a good drummer. And boy, he put the work in. I mean, just hours a day. And then I would give him records. I'm like, you don't have to learn every song, but play along with this album. I just want you to hear Bonzo's playing style, right?
Right.
You know, and then he'd get on a Bonzo kick where it's like he wants to play Zeppelin fills on everything. You know, he's just learning it all right now, and it's just all coming so fast. And it's like, we need to do what's best for the song, you know, serve the song always. And so what's nice about him being in the house is we can just go over there and work on the arrangement, try different things, let him cook, you know, play around with it until you get what you want. But eventually you're going to have to lock it in, you know.
Right.
So seeing him experiment and seeing where these songs go, and sometimes you got to rein them in, you know, it gets a little crazy because, you know, you don't want to go too nuts, but you don't want to be boring either. You know, like Matchbox 20 is a great example. Love the band. And I love drums. Like I'm not a drummer. I can fake it a little bit, but one of the reasons I listen to music is the drums. I love drums so much. It's what Zeppelin. I mean, I just listen to the drums on every song and just be happy. But I really just love listening to the drums. And Matchbox 20's drummer is just so basic. It's just like the 4/4 all the time, and there's nothing really driving or passionate about it, you know.
Yeah.
And then you take a band like The Who, and then Keith Moon is just wacky all over the place.
Yeah.
And it takes those songs to such different levels. Than if you imagine a normal drummer playing some of those songs, they to me they wouldn't have been what they were.
He was nuts. He
was Animal from the
totally
Muppets.
Different. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just. I saw one live version where he had his headphones duct taped to his head. They was playing so loud. I mean, what year were you born?
67.
67. Okay. So you'd have graduated
86.
86. So what were you listening to in the 80s?
Zeppelin. Yeah. Zeppelin, Jeff Beck, Pat Travers, some Johnny Winter.
So what's your musical background? How much training do you have as far as that
Well,
goes, like on the technical side?
Training started with me and 3 buddies. As kids, we each picked a Beatle, and we were that Beatle.
That's awesome.
We'd have tennis rackets, and sing with all the tunes.
You got any pictures of that?
I wish I did.
Oh man, I'd love to see some of those.
Boy, I'm embarrassed. I think I was still doing that in high school. Yeah, I actually remember. I would just crank "The Song Remains the Same."
Oh, what a great tune!
Or the live album.
Yeah. Oh, the live album.
Yeah. And boy, I knew every flippin' note, every nuance, in all the records. But
those guys could just. I mean, there's like. One song on there is like 20 minutes long. Is it?
Oh yeah,
Dazed and Confused?
Confused.
Yeah. Like they just had and I didn't realize this until I watched the documentary about how instrumental Peter Grant was in forming them. Like they weren't an organic group; it just formed. They were put together as a supergroup. They didn't know each other, and you would think, you know, in theory that could or couldn't work. But man, did it work!
Well, Robert Plant, John Paul Jones, they're kind of rogue. They weren't recognized as, you know, like Jimmy and John Paul Jones, the session players.
Yeah.
And I mean, they had already built up kind of a profile.
Yeah.
But Yeah.
Well, John Paul Jones did a ton of session work.
Yeah.
Apparently, like he was one of the go-tos, like
Mm-hmm.
really getting in there, and he probably knew more like just technical music, but he is undersung, underrated.
Yeah.
You don't hear. I mean, you're in a band with Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, and Bonzo. I mean, yeah, you're the
Yeah,
least
he's very
about,
quiet.
but he's underrated. Absolutely,
Yeah.
like he's one of the best, and not just on the bass. I mean, he did all their keyboard stuff, a lot of the arrangements for any of the orchestral stuff they did. Yeah, just super talented guy.
Yeah, as far as training and stuff, so once football was done, and I was in college, so, and I'd been singing, you know, but just similar to like my son, you know, just singing with my favorite.
Did you have vocal lessons at some point? You sound like you do. Like you sound very smooth. Like
in college, I stumbled into a little voice scholarship, and it was, but it was kind of crazy because I auditioned, and there at Colorado State, it was really built around more of a classical program, and so you know they did a sight reading test. I had never sight read or anything, so I just kind of, you know, I look at notes, kind of faked or kind of approximated where I thought things were going.
yeah.
But and somehow got it right. Like, you know, it was just complete dice roll, you know.
No kidding.
No significance to that. It just like
Right.
happened to where it was like, oh yeah, okay, he's a pretty good sight reader. And so I got a little scholarship to be in their opera theater program.
You have a great voice, by the way.
Thank you.
Really do.
Well,
It's so smooth.
it's interesting.
I'm a little envious, honestly.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's I have a kind of a problem, kind of reaching. I'm so intrigued by music and expression that I never quite settle. So I'm always trying these different things and different
Variations on a theme.
characteristics, you know, with my voice and stuff, and it ends up kind of sabotaging because I'll get in shape, for example, for some kind of heavy rock thing where I'll be in that phase and doing the, you know, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, but then kind of quickly get bored and it's, oh man, no, that's not really me. I'm not that verbose, you know, or it's not, you know, or whatever's in my head.
Yeah.
And yeah, I need to do quiet stuff, you know. So then it's like I'll be singing quiet things or whatever that is, but it's hard because I've been doing all this blowing up, you know.
Yeah.
So then I'll beat myself to death trying to get this other range going and find, you know, and thinking, oh, I forgot how to sing. I don't know how to sing. What's happening? You know, but I'm just doing something so flippin' different.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know, I don't know, my head just gets out of there.
How often do you write?
Not enough.
It can never be enough.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
I don't know. I'm probably just, well, like most of us, I'm just kind of, you know, I think just tormented, trying to find the right thing to say, the right
Well,
temperature.
The
all
tough
of
thing
these
about
things,
songwriting is that at every juncture, there's an unlimited amount of possibilities you can go. You know, like I've got a cool verse. Where do you go in the chorus? Literally anything. You know, it's like you gotta kind of. Music is organized chaos, really. 'Cause, I mean, you can go in any direction, any way, shape, or form, and also, you know, you were talking earlier about influences, and it's fun to see if you go back and look at, you know, if you really study 70s, 80s, 90s music, how many licks and stuff get stolen and ripped off, and you know, just pass on. Like for an example, The Doors' 5 to 1, the lead solo. The Ace Frehley used it in a Kiss song called She, and then Mike McCready stole it for Alive for Pearl Jam.
Wow.
It's the exact same solo, but you can't copyright solos. It's just lyrics and melody and lyrics, right?
Right.
So I find that really interesting. Is like how it's almost like an homage, you know, these little licks that get taken here and there, and you might be inspired by, you know, one little thing here, and you make a whole song out of it. Just a
Right.
little piece here. It's like, I don't know, what do you find inspiration in, or like,
You know, it's interesting because, you know, of course, giving rise to any piece of original content, expression, whatever, I respect across the board. For me, you know, with writing a song, it's never been as much parsing out, you know, the exact language, or, you know, an assembly or an arrangement style or anything. It's more like a general essence that drives me,
okay,
and like something, you know, it needs to be inspired, but it's just a feeling, or if there's something that I
Sure.
need to say
Mm-hmm.
in general. And as improvisational as this is I think probably most to do with my approach on even the songwriting. It's like if there's something that genuinely comes forward that inspires me to do something or to put something down, I'll make that happen pretty instantly. You know, it's the inspiration, it's the connection
In the moment,
that is the hard, I dare I say hard or whatever it is, but it's a gift. It's when you make yourself available and open, and you're at peace, and you're, you know, vision's wide, and you're available for that gift to transpire.
Well, I don't know if we talked about this when I was here last time, but the ether. Jimmy Page mentioned, you know, where do you get your riffs? I pull them out of the ether. Like, it's almost like there's another dimension where if you're in tune with it, and if you're like spiritually aligned with it, they give to you. Like, you just use the term gift. I've recently started using like some fishing analogies with songs. It's like sometimes you'll cast and you'll just land a monster right off the bat with zero effort. Like, I wrote a song the other day that I wrote in 5 minutes, and it's one of my favorite new songs that we have.
You got the big catch.
And it took no time at all. And I got a song that I really like a verse for, and I've been struggling for a week on a chorus.
Yeah.
I sent it to Dad, see if he'd come up with anything. I didn't like it. And that's one that you just keep reeling in, you keep reeling in, and sometimes the line snaps, and you just say, you got to let it go. How much is my time worth versus trying to force this in?
And I've been in that place so many times, and have come to find that most of the time, well, what I consider maybe the best things I've done have been the ones that just kind of happen quickly. And
they tend to be the better ones, really.
Yeah, and the hard fought ones, although there's been some things that have been hard fought just intuitively, just knowing I really believe in what I have here, but then there's elements to music that fly so far above my head that it takes me a minute to unravel that, but stay to it. And there's still something, you know, that's fought for that still has kind of an unnatural component to it, because it's been hard to truly connect all the dots, but you put it together the best you can over time, and reeling that thing. And there's something, you know, there'll be something redemptive about it when it's done, but not one of those just natural things that happen, you know.
Yeah. I got very good at organization over the years in songs, because I didn't like pieces to go to waste, but I might have a song that not a very good verse or chorus, but I really like this bridge, you know, and so I'd have a, and I still use iTunes to this day. I still use iPods to this day. Just to show you
Nice.
how old school I am. But like, I would make a playlist of bridges, choruses, verses, And so if you're struggling on something, I could kind of go and figure out. I had one song that I wrote, Miles Above. I had a really cool intro, good verse, good pre-chorus, and I just was stuck on the chorus. And I had a bridge for it too. It was like I was just missing that one piece. And it was in an unfinished songs folder, and in parentheses, missing chorus. And one day I woke up early on a Saturday morning, went and picked up a guitar. Just first thing that comes out is this great chorus. I was like, man, it would be cool if I had a song in this key that needed, so I go to the folder, I'm like, oh my gosh, if this works, and boom, they paired up. So over 2 years, I finally got that chorus, and then Durham recorded it for our third album, and it just lined up.
That's cool.
So like, if you're organized enough and you keep folders and stuff, you can at least not throw the baby out with the bathwater kind of thing. Have your ideas. There's one song, Sunsets, that we just wrote, where we had a song and we had a cool bridge, but the rest of the song wasn't great. Walter wanted to keep it. And I was like, son, it's just not a great song. I said,
so what about it were you thinking made it not a great song? The words or what?
That's subjective to the writer, right? I guess I just didn't enjoy. I just
you weren't excited.
I felt it was kind of like meh, when that. But the bridge was really cool. I was like, oh, I like this bridge. Yeah. So I set up cameras just to document this. I did this on my podcast channel, or maybe it's on the Durham channel. I don't know, one of them. But I just put a camera up to say, like, here's what goes into writing a song, because people think it's like some magical gift where you snap your fingers and here's a song. A lot of work goes into it. Now, like we talked about, sometimes you reel them in quick, but I took this bridge and then I started working around it to try and rewrite the verses and choruses, and I did get a really good song out of it, but it took like 2 hours of trying different things.
Right.
And I documented that. It's a boring watch. I wouldn't recommend anyone watch it, but I wanted to just document it for myself, to just kind of show, here's what goes into, because I wasn't going to let this bridge go. I wanted it, and I wanted to knock it out then.
Right.
And, but yeah, man, there's songs can be written in so many different forms or ways or styles. And I don't know if I've told you this, but I recently met a lady named Tracy Hughes. Beautiful person. She's been playing her whole life. She's probably closer to your age than mine, but she just started writing songs. And so we connected, and she was like, well, can you teach me how? You can't really teach it. Like, I can teach you some methods and some practices and ways of working, but there's a million different ways to writing songs. And she had asked how many songs I'd written, and because I keep every demo, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 or 1,600 songs, but only 160 of those are good or have been slated to record, which is about a 10% success rate. So for every 10 songs I write, I keep one.
Right. So you say you've got 160 banked?
160 that I've either already recorded or are slated to record. I think the number we have slated to record right now is 134. But
that's amazing.
That took 1,300 songs to get that 134,
Yeah.
But that's not wasted time, though, to me. It's still part of the process and learning and being able to differentiate. I like to vet my songs a lot and listen to them over and over and over on a playlist to decide, is this going to stand the test of time? If a studio's writing the album in the studio, like, you don't know if these songs are going to be good or not. Yeah. You might get them tight, but you haven't had a chance to really vet them.
Yeah.
I feel like the studio, like the record label kind of, I don't know, they interfere so much with the music.
It's just interesting. I mean, I just respect any headspace on any of it. But I liken, I guess, this songwriting or whatever, I don't see it any different than the conversation we're having, where I'm not the best conversationalist by any stretch. I might have a moment here or there on occasion where I, put something together that's, meaningful.
You're having a good conversation right now.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that, if I were to traverse my history of language or something, and really like, okay, that's not good, that's not good. I mean, it's just conversation, and it's, yeah, some of it might be more profound than
Sure.
others, but it's just, you know, I like the idea of, again, just being inspired to make a song, and the notion that it's gonna, you know, have no intention of necessarily being able to change the world with something, but you know,
Yeah.
it's just conversation. You're just, if it's real and from the heart, you know, I mean, anybody can speak. It's like your friend, you know, to think that there's some kind of algorithm or something that she has to learn. I would just tell her, well, you speak lovely. You're you.
Yeah, oh,
Just,
she's got a great sound.
and just be.
She's
It's
like
about
a Stevie
you. It's
Nicks.
just about. It's about, you know. To me, literally the whole journey is in trying to figure out who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, your identity, your sonic identity, as I call it. Like I have you know, there's constraints, and then there's constraints that you put on yourself. You know, like I wouldn't do a 19-minute progressive song. It just doesn't interest me,
Right.
right? Like I don't even have the memory to remember all that. You know, she's new to the world and she's figuring out things. And one of the coolest things ever is that she covered a couple of my songs, and to hear another artist record your song is one of the coolest things. And to hear it sound so differently than I wrote it.
Right.
So she covered a song. One of them she covered
That's cool.
pretty straight up. It was a song called, well, she did Troubled Waters was one of them that she totally changed the arrangement and the sound, and it was really cool. Because if you know, covers, in my opinion, if you're going to release a cover, now if you're playing in a cover band, you want to play it exactly because that's what people want to hear. But if you're going to record a cover, I feel like you need to make it different.
Yeah.
The original's out there. Like if you're going to copy it, what's the point? Now I get it if it's been 20, 30 years and you're trying to introduce a new generation to this band, you know, like Avenged Sevenfold's recorded some Pantera tracks that are just like the track, but you know, a lot of these kids have never heard of Pantera because it's 20 years ago. But what an honor to me for her to record that. And then I had written a song for a female vocalist years ago who was supposed to, she was part of a songwriter's, you know, those showcases things.
Yeah.
And I'd written a song for her, and she ended up getting real bad sick and didn't get to play it. But it's written from a female perspective, and I gave it to Tracy, and she did a masterful job recording it. And then she played it at Durham Fest 3, and it was like one of the biggest honors to have somebody else play one of your songs. You know? It's neat.
That's very cool.
And she's so different. I mean, she's so different than our style. You know, like we were talking about, you know, like your sonic identity. You know, I like hard rock, you know, like that kind of sound, that 70s sound, and she's more the acoustic vibe, you know, think Fleetwood Mac kind of thing. Yeah. And to hear the different interpretations of it. So like, even if so the song, while you're writing it, can go in any different direction, and then you eventually hone in on what you want, and you produce it in a certain way, and then there's infinite ways to reproduce that same song. If you give it to 100 artists, you're going to come up with 100 different ways to do it. That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole different thing. Right, you know, being a songwriter that's out to, you know, kind of play songs with other artists, that's kind of a different phenomena that I haven't, which is a whole big world unto itself, you know.
Well, I want to get into some talk about this space right here. Like, you've been doing this over 20 years.
Here, I've been here since 99.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's 26 years.
26 years.
And just grateful for it, and to still be here. And I love it as much as I did then. And back in Colorado, still aspire the same way from when I was, you know, 18. And that's just to always aspire to make something, or just listen to those Beatles records. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh man, I want to do something that cool, you know. So.
Well, I want to know what it's like from your perspective, because people are paying you for your service to record their stuff. So I'm sure you get stuff in here that's not your thing, stuff that you like.
It's truly, it's all my thing.
Is it? Okay, well, that's what
it really is.
So you're really just like whatever comes in.
If there's something, I'll say that. There's times where something may not, and this is interesting because I think it's this way in life, but there's times where you don't understand.
What? Yeah.
Kind of the essence.
Right.
And
in what they're trying to achieve.
But it's up to me to understand it.
Right.
And
that's where I'm kind of. How do you get in that headspace? Do you? Because I'm sure a lot of the times you were hearing these songs for the first time when they come in. Mm-hmm. They're not necessarily giving you demos. So I talked about that.
I like that. I like getting demos.
Well, that's what I talked about yesterday. Is I want to get you something to where you can get your head around it. Because to me, hearing a song for the first, you need 5-6 listens to really get just a sense of a song, any song.
Yeah.
So it's got to be challenging for you. You're setting people up. You're trying to, they're obviously.
Most of the time it makes, it's just like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And not in not assuming things or whatever, but it's like, if you've got a rock and roll band, chances are they're going to set up and this girl's going to be hitting those drums and you're going to hear some guitars. And it's just like, we know that kind of thing.
Does your role change from artist to artist? Like, do you feel like, obviously you're doing the engineering piece, do you feel like you have to play producer sometimes where the band doesn't really know
most of the time, and producers defined, there's so many different styles and definition in that. But I always definitely am factoring in, this capture of a group can be a beautiful capture or be a compromised capture, of what they're doing. So, it's paramount that I've got my head on and can communicate with these people, because I want the sound that they want, is my goal. I want them, and it starts with them sounding like them.
Okay, so you're trying to capture what they're bringing to the table.
Oh, absolutely.
Does that come naturally, or is there a lot of communication between you and the band? Like, as somebody who, as an artist, I don't see your side of the desk a lot. So it's like, I'm wondering what it's like for you when a band comes in. It's like, how do you get that relationship kind of going?
Well,
before you start recording, because it's very important.
Yeah, and I'm pretty fortunate that most of the time, with the artists that I'm working with, they're pretty mature and they've got a sound going on. And then, but there are those rare times where, for example, a drummer, say he might bring his drums in and knowing what their influences are and stuff, I know what he wants to hear, right? Yeah. But then maybe those drums just are incapable of producing that sound. Maybe he's got a bunch of tape or witchcraft going on.
Gotcha.
That's just sabotaging,
inhibiting him
sound
from achieving.
So that would, I would have to intervene a little bit. Just all right, boy, I know you really going for this thing. We need to open these up, or make adjustments. Same with guitar tones and things, a lot of times.
Who are the most, dramatic, time-consuming people in the studio as guitar players? It's got to be, right? Obsessing over their tone forever?
I don't run into that much.
Really?
Really? I don't.
That's so fun. Have you? I don't know if you've seen this meme, but there's like a video of the band showing up for the practice. You got the bass player, he's bringing in his bass. The drummer's bringing in, his drums. The lead singer walks in with nothing, and then the lead guitar player has 6 pickup or like
Right.
6 trucks backing up with all
Sure.
this gear and stuff.
Yeah.
It's so funny because every guitar player I know, other than myself, because I had my sound nailed in high school, and I've stuck with that same sound because it's what I like. But I like playing with somebody like that who has the
Yeah.
diverse sounds. I'm kind of the anchor.
Right.
This is the
Stable.
sound of the band. This is the
Killer
same song,
rhythm.
same sound on every track, and you as the lead guitar player bring all the textures.
All the color and
yeah,
flavor.
my dad's obsessed with always finding new sounds. Johnny Smith, our guitar player in Durham, always on the quest for a new sound, new amp, and it's always, this is the one. This is the
Yeah.
one. Until it's not.
Right.
And it's always that constant quest. So
And
I
that's
find
kind
that
of
amusing.
a tormented,
Yeah.
thing.
It's their own journey. It's,
Yeah.
my journey is writing the songs, and theirs is the quest for the tone.
Yeah.
Which is just as valuable.
Right.
But it's fun. I just didn't know. Like,
Well, people like Jeff Beck, I mean, he was so madly, just, connected, to these tones and just, crazy. And you've heard crazy stories about Eric Johnson just being really a Fruit Loop
yeah.
on the tones. And it does. I think there is, if you're someone like that, pursuing the outer limits and reach that gold mine, which of course they have, that's pretty cool. But then to have a life chasing something, never getting it, yeah, I think you have a good adaptation of that, just having, all right, I just want this simple, straight tone,
Yeah.
and then open your mind up in a different way toward your, songs, structure, whatever, these kind of things,
But you need a band. I feel like I've done albums entirely by myself where I've played every instrument, and it sounds 2-dimensional. It sounds very flat because I don't know, it's just like, it's hard to explain. There's no one else's input in there to make it, kind of 3-dimensional. That's why I really like working, especially so closely with Dad, is that, we can play around until we get the right. In fact, there's a little triad piece we play on a song called "Raise the Dead." It's on the pre-chorus, and I was just messing around, and I came up with this little da-na-na-na-na, and then I was like, we got to do something with that. Anyway, next time I was around Dad, he had worked that out into a whole part for the
Cool.
pre-chorus, and it's super sick, to the point where he forgot playing it one time, and Walter was all over him after that song in practice. Like, you didn't play the triad, Grandpa.
Uh-oh.
So like now they're,
Yeah.
eyes, like they're starting to get serious now.
Cool.
We went through the first 7 songs the other night, and man, it sounded like a record. That's why I
Wow.
was like, I think we're ready to, at least on a few tracks. But it's always a constant journey. There's never, there is no destination. You're just
Right.
trying to always create something beautiful.
Right.
Do you feel like as you're recording these bands, like, gosh, you must have done thousands of recordings in here.
Yeah.
Like, how much of that, like, which ones stand out? Are there any, like, particular sessions you've had in here that you really were like, man, that was amazing. That was gold. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure you have some takeaways like that.
Boy, and not to be too much of a blob here, but there's a takeaway. Honest to goodness, every session has some magical takeaway to it.
Okay.
And unique, as unique as every person on the planet. It's always something different. That's what keeps this so fun.
Right.
Because it is genuine.
Yeah, I can see that.
unique every
All
single
the time,
day.
yeah.
And every
Something totally different.
song, every person, every, instrumentalist or whatever. It's just this whole symphony of elements that are just unique. So just that, the essence of, again, coming together and creating this harmony or whatever, and it always comes together a different way, is intriguing. So as far as any specific sessions that are profound, I mean, literally they all are.
Well, that's cool. That's good to hear.
I mean, but
I mean,
it's
surely
A to Z. I mean, it's just A to Z. I mean, the differences are miles away.
But surely you've had some
apart.
train wrecks as well.
I've had
just people who just come in who are not prepared, don't know what's going on, shouldn't be here.
It's interesting. I've had a few, and I think I'm proud to say I think it's just been a few.
Yeah.
Situations that were
not ideal.
But I tell you what, in those situations, I point to myself as, again, not failing to understand. And that's really key, because it's up to me to understand. And I just beat myself to death in even those few instances.
Yeah.
Which, and maybe it's arrogant to even suggest, there's been a few that I haven't understood. I mean, I can't say I fully understand everything. I don't, but
yeah, I think it's an incredibly challenging task that you have to. I mean, you basically have these people coming in, and you kind of have to put on a new skin. And kind of become what it is this band
Well,
needs.
it's just trying
different hats all the time.
Trying to listen, as I've gotten older. That's been like I'm kind of a late bloomer, but becoming a much better listener.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that. I love, the chance to kind of understand somebody,
right?
And what their dream is. The closer I can understand that, the more valuable I can be in helping.
Sure.
Make that happen.
You feel like you're still learning techniques?
Always. Oh my gosh! All this stuff still blows way over my head.
Right.
So, I'm, 3% of the way there. I better live
right.
for a long time. Yeah.
I feel like you take about any band. I mean, name one. Pearl Jam. Take them. When they were young and hungry, their records were great. Mm-hmm. Once they got money and you're rich, I feel like a lot of songwriting comes from pain. As kind of a coping mechanism. That's why I don't keep a journal, because my life is in the songs.
Right.
It might be metaphorical, it might be a little bit veiled and not super obvious, but I can look at it and say, this is what it is.
Right.
And, so I think a lot of songwriting, as you get older, you get stale and you lose motivation. But with engineering, I feel like it's almost the opposite. Like you're continuing to learn techniques and how to...
Yeah, I think, I still gravitate towards some real baseline principles that I just feel that I prefer, that I feel are kind of, I like to steer toward what I feel are kind of ultimate truths,
Right.
Although there's very few ultimate truths.
What, for example?
Well, it's like, you speaking to me right now, and yes, it's my interpretation of your voice, it's my ears, it's my brain, but even if it's for better or worse, that's real. That's what I want to capture. And, you know, I don't want to put your voice through a wood chipper and have it come out the other side. And
Right.
so I just feel, you know, the closer I can get to your flesh and you and have that come out
Yeah.
of speakers, that's just where I want to be.
Yeah.
And I respect it all. I mean, there's people, you know, you do all kinds of stuff out there, and there's any number of algorithms and effects and AIs and everything else, you know, in this stuff.
Have you played with any AI, music AI yet?
Oh, I've messed around. I
Have you tooled around with
downloaded Suno just to see
Did
what
you
it
really?
does.
What?
And
Tell me about it. I know nothing about. Like,
it's just, you know, they just pull from pop culture,
right.
you know, whatever's a buzz in the culture, and, you know, and they're able to just, you know, artificially weave together songs
Isn't that
and
wild
stuff.
though?
And
I mean, we're
yeah,
in an era
but
where a
it's,
computer can write an album.
you know, it's right, but it's driven by pop culture because that's where they're harvesting their data
Sure.
through the biggest numbers, right?
Right, but if
So-
it's pulling from the most popular things out there right now, theoretically, it could be popular.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're
and
say
it
you
is.
took a boy band AI and just said, "Hey, take
So if that's what you want to be,
yeah,
um,
take the best of what the boy bands are, remix them, and
Yeah.
shit out an album."
yeah,
I mean,
and they're
you know-
doing that, and there are like hits and stuff.
Hollywood's. I mean, they're writing scripts with it. I mean, the whole strike last year. That was one of the negotiation techniques. Is they didn't want AI writing
Yeah.
scripts. I mean, it's so wild.
Well, I guess I don't find it. I don't have a problem with it because you know, the artists and things, you know, people that are inventing and creating new things and aren't, you know, doing this canned, complete pop culture thing, but looking to express, you know, in more unique ways. Boy, there's room
Yeah,
and space.
I'm not
for
necessarily
them.
opposed to it. I think it'd be interesting to say, like, if I could feed my entire catalog into the AI and say, here's 3 of our albums. Give me a song based on these.
Yeah, and they'll model that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then it's almost still like you wrote it because it's modeling after things you already wrote. It's just rearranging in a different way.
Yeah. And maybe you take inspiration from that or something.
And that could be a cool exercise. Like my son we have anything with a barcode on it. It's like my son asked me the other day, he said, let's just do a songwriting exercise, take a barcode and use that as a guitar tab on the E string and see if we can come up with some riffs.
Cool.
So we went through and grabbed all these things that had barcodes on them and just on the E string, just saying, okay, if this was tablature, how would this sound? And, you know, most of it's just wacky. But we actually came up with a really sick riff. We tweaked it a little bit, you know.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it was just one of those random things out
Yeah.
of nowhere. We're like, what a cool idea.
yeah.
And then we
I
ended
think
up,
whatever gets your neurons firing, you know, with
whatever
respect
gives you
to
that spark
inspiration.
is the word I use for
I
it.
think it's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, with every change in format or historically, everybody's always rubbed by something. Be it Elvis shaking his hips or, you know, whatever, you know.
How far have we come from that, right?
Right. But, you know, so I don't even want to waste my time being uptight about it. Just life and go on and just pull from it if there's inspiration to be had. The main thing is just that we just continue doing things.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have anything on your bucket list that you've not done yet that you want to do?
Oh, wow, that's a neat question.
Doesn't even have to be studio related. I mean, just like in life.
Boy, that's a really good question because to answer honestly, no. All I aspire for is to prayerfully stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And just able to just keep working. I love working, and I just want to be able to do that.
You don't look like a guy who's like looking the clock for retirement. Like I feel like,
Well,
even if you retired from recording other people, you're still going to be involved with music the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And there's no getting away from that.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, well, again, if lucky enough to be healthy. And, health is such a crazy thing, because we can be rolling through life, and you're just kind of numb. You just think all this stuff, life's just cool, and then you see people get kneecapped, with some kind of health thing, and then they just, it's just like changes everything. So, on the bucket list deal, I think of the bucket list as those,
grandiose.
I want to meet Robert Plant or something, But as far as goals, and that's, I think, a huge key for any of us, is to just, aspire, imagine, be creative, and be pursuing things.
It's good for mental health. I mean, just to have an objective.
Right.
If there's no objective, then what is the purpose?
But I definitely have a lot of those. In fact, I'd love to elicit your listeners if they have any ideas on a project I'm working on, if I could show it to you.
Yeah, let's check it out.
All right.
You got it?
So let's go outside.
All right.
This has been like, I guess I'll say,
road pop here. Let's do it.
very therapeutic for me. It's turned out to somehow magically be so inspiring, despite it being, it's been hardcore. Like today is this beautiful day out here.
Feels nice out.
The temperature's not bad. I've been doing this in the absolute peak heat of the summer. Throw on full clothing, to where I'm covered all the way, and then bug spray all over.
I've never been back here.
So, and forgive, it's very raw, but.
Is this all on your property?
Yeah. So,
Sweet.
what I'm hoping to do is, what I'm trying to do is build this into kind of a stage, right? And then I want this to be like a park, and make
It's
it
like a venue?
beautiful. Not a venue. In fact, it would just be like maybe a quarterly acoustic kind of thing or something.
That would be cool.
But, so anyway, I need to make this just beautiful down here, all the way down to the corner.
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish the fence down there. So this is the goal I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And
what do you do with this space?
well, I know it's got to be beautiful. But
Have you thought about opening a venue here? Like, you could have some cool, like, just small shows.
Well, I don't want to get
Is it too much hassle?
Well, it's just I've got neighbors over here and stuff, and I don't want to be making noise and things. But to have like a quarterly kind of event thing, and with acoustic instruments. But if we walk over here, so what I've done is I've been cutting out bushes and leaves and all this stuff, and through all this area, cleaning all this out.
So
and then you see you got back here. That's just a storage shed. But back here, you see I'm opening all that up. And
Did you have to clean a bunch of brush out of that? Like, did you do all the clean? Okay.
Yeah.
It looks nice.
And I'm still needing to finish it because I want to be able to eat breakfast on it. But and then I want to level it out.
I didn't realize you had so much space back here.
So I was thinking of like a 20, don't fall.
Yeah, I know.
like a 20 by 20 foot, like 2-story kind of mother-in-law
Like a little apartment
house
kind of thing?
You know, really it's just kind of backup for my kids or something.
Yeah.
But that might be a little out of reach. So I've been looking. I saw these. It's a product called Zomes.
Mhm.
Have you seen those?
Mm-mm.
Zomes. It's this cool futuristic kind of dome thing that's really cool. It looks like a spaceship, but I'm thinking I kind of dream of getting one of those and putting it
Yeah?
out there. Yeah,
That'd be
but
cool.
and it's, you know, it's a place you can more like a bedroom and
A place to crash.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just kind of a safety net of
Yeah,
some
that's
sort.
neat.
In case. Now, one last introduction before we leave here. Now, and this is a very special introduction.
Uh-oh.
Puppy.
Oh no! We
So-
got a surprise puppy.
This is Puppy.
Oh my goodness!
And that's Bitsy. Come here, Bitsy.
What is happening here?
So Puppy, it was 2010, and I came here one morning,
Brad.
and she,
Good to meet you.
and I'm going into the front door, and I see her poke her head around the corner.
What's going on?
And I'm like, who are you? I said, come here.
When was this? You say?
It's 2010.
Okay.
And
What is this?
that's Bitsy. But she darted around, and she wouldn't let me catch her for 3 days. And on the third or fourth day, she actually came into the front door,
Really?
and we put posters up to see it because she had a collar on, but nobody came around. So she's been,
So she's been yours.
yeah.
And
she's-
then what's the story with this thing?
Bitsy,
That might be the cutest
she
thing
is,
I've ever seen.
she,
What
my wife,
kind of dog is that? Even?
saw her as a baby online on. What is
I'm
that
sorry,
website?
man. I gotta get over here.
Someone is rehoming her.
Bitsy.
7.
And she was a little puppy, and she be really soft because she'll like yelp if she
Okay,
if
okay.
she just thinks it's a little hard. And it's just because she's scared.
Okay. It's like a giant mole.
Well, she really transformed when she was a puppy. She looked completely different.
Really?
And then if you ever saw that movie Gremlins,
Oh, well, that's one of my favorite movies.
and because you know when they turned into something different.
Yeah.
That's what happened to her.
Really?
Yeah, because she was like this little baby deer when we got her, and then she turned into, she got kind of pudgy, and her eyeballs got big.
So what kind of a dog is this?
She's a Chihuahua.
Is it a specific breed of Chihuahua?
Well, they call them.
Because she's not
Like
the same breed
teacups
as
or
that, right?
miniature.
Okay.
She's like a teacup applehead, right?
That might be the cutest dog I've ever seen.
She is.
And Puppy's a deer head.
And I just
Chihuahua.
got it. My family just got a puppy. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
More of a bull
Yeah, it's a little pit bull. Kids
pit bull.
Yeah, whatever. What am I gonna do? I veto it and have the whole family hate me.
Right.
You know, I kicked it back down to the lower courts. I said, you guys decide. You guys take care of it. And now we got another one. So
But how old is that one?
10 weeks.
Oh wow. So you've got another older one though, don't you?
I've got one that's at least, we don't know exactly how old he was when we got him, but we've been out there since 2014, so 11, I think he was 3 or 4, so he's 15-ish.
And it's a
And
pit
he's-
bull.
No, my oldest is like a beagle mix.
Oh, gotcha.
Then we've got 2, what do you call it? Great Pyrenees, which
Cool.
are kind of herding the chickens. And we've got
I
a
was
little
gonna say
Shih
those
Tzu.
chickens. You
Yeah.
see? Maybe I put chickens
Can you
out
have
here.
chickens in the city limits? No, they're
Well, I
just
don't
saying.
know. I don't know. But I love.
Just don't do geese. We've had every kind
Oh.
of bird imaginable. Geese they attack and their shit is the size of a golf ball. So
Yeah.
there's that.
They do attack. I've seen. We
They're
have
mean.
brown squirrels out here. We have a groundhog that shows himself every once in a while. Rabbits.
Do you have any deer come through here?
Yeah. We haven't seen any for a little bit,
Really?
but
We've got a deer on our road that lives like on this one spot. Every time you drive by, she'll come out and check you out. I've never seen a deer do this where they inhabit one area.
really,
Yeah, it's wild. Like every time you drive by, she'll come out and check out who's going there and then retreat back.
see, I'd
Almost-
love to fence this in and have just a potpourri of animals. Love
You
that.
can do a lot of cool stuff out here.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're watching this and you've seen the space, comment in. How can we maximize this space? You could do a whole, man, you could do a lot of stuff with this. So the line goes down to the road.
Yeah,
and then-
down to the corner. Down
The
there.
corner, okay.
Yeah.
So how much is this lot on exactly?
I think
It's gotta be over an acre.
No, I
No?
think it's like 3/4 of an acre.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, but
It's a good space. I never knew this was back here.
yeah, and it's amazing for only being 3/4 of an acre. The amount of work
Yeah.
to get it right is
I tell you what, we wanted
monumental.
land, and we ended up with 20 acres, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And so when people are saying, "Oh, I want 20 acres," I'm like, "Well, you got to think about this and this and
Yeah.
this." You know, our trails are constantly got down trees. You know, you're
Right.
cutting firewood. It's depending on how much you want to maintain it. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, land is work. I understand why, like as people are retiring, you know, trying to get out of that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Right now, I got the boys to help me with all of it, but you know,
Right.
one of these days, this is going to go all back
Yeah,
to me.
I can't get my boys to help really.
You know. Now,
My
are your
youngest is
kids
up a
all
little bit.
around here? Some one of them.
Yeah, they all live around here.
They're all close.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
So
And
that's
you
a
got how
good
many
thing.
grandkids?
2.
2.
Yeah, 3-year-old and 1-year-old.
So I assume that's probably for them. That's not yours.
Yes, Grandma sets up the pool out here,
Nice.
mini pool, and yes, we're gonna make
What's
it
it
a
like
carnival.
What's it like being a grandpa? What's
It's-
the like? Obviously, it's not your child, but it's the next generation.
it's
Like,
just-
what's the love like there?
It's innate. It's very easy and natural. It's different than being that
Yeah.
first time father and
Yeah.
stuff. It's a different thing because you
Sure.
can really hone in on the purity and just the love that projects from
Yeah.
the kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's just different. When you have your own kid, it's like it's kind of like, okay, I need to muscle up here and raise
Yeah.
a family.
Yeah.
And
It's my
you-
responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a blind spot on just how beautiful and pure they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been a real treat.
I'm not in any hurry to have any, but I'm sure it's super special.
Yeah.
Especially with being able to play with my dad and my son. That's really cool. But something I haven't experienced yet. So I'm just curious
Yeah.
to know what that. There's so many different levels of love.
Yeah.
There's friendship love. There's romantic love. There's a love for your child. That's just a love I haven't experienced yet. A
Yeah.
grandchild. Like I can't even imagine.
Right.
But I don't even think I ever really knew what love was until I had my first child. Like
Yeah.
when you have to put someone else above yourself, because before it was just me,
Yeah.
right? You're innately kind of selfish when you don't have kids. Everything is how to
Right.
serve myself. Now I have somebody that I'm responsible for, and everything I do is for them. It's a whole different kind of love.
Yeah.
And
Much
that-
less, like you said earlier, just a blessing that they're healthy
Yeah.
and able to function is such a big thing because I think as a parent or you just worry. I mean, at least
Oh.
I
Sure.
was always just hit with worry and just, come on, guys.
Yeah.
we gotta
You want them to
survive.
succeed, but you want to give them the tools to do it, but you don't want to be overbearing. You want to let them find their way,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because I never did get my fathering manual in the mail.
right.
I don't think you did either.
Yeah,
You
it's
kinda-
crazy. I love what you're doing with your kids, though.
Well, thank you.
Seeing you guys out at the river or whatever, is it a river or a stream? What is that?
It's a creek. I mean, it's a deep creek. Yeah, they just jump off and
their long hair.
Go down there.
Free
yeah.
spirit. That's just.
That's
cool.
their mama's deal. She wanted the long hair.
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't you guys just shave it in the summer? Like, no, they're like, what was it, Samson? Right? You lose your power if you cut your hair.
Yeah.
I think they believe that. They're like, this is what gives us our power, and all three of them have it. And
Wild.
I tried growing mine out. I got it down to about right here, and I was just like, dude, I can't handle the heat. I can't take it. And when I shaved it off, and they roasted me like, you just don't have what it takes, Dad.
I started to try to let mine grow out like a year ago or something, and yeah, it was hot.
Have you ever grown it out long?
I had 3 feet of hair.
Did you really?
Oh yeah, I'll show you a picture.
When was it?
sometime.
Yeah, I need to see pictures of this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What
Really
about the
big.
grizzly beard? Did you ever grow out a?
Never did the big beard.
No.
I for a short stint, I grew out a little bit of something. I was playing Jesus, Jesus Christ Superstar. For some
Did you
reason, thought-
really play that role
Yeah,
in a production?
yeah.
That
But
is
yeah,
one of the greatest
I'll show you some
rock
pictures.
operas of all time.
Yeah, it is cool. I was.
And you got to play
I
that
was
role?
in it.
Where was that?
It was, well, you know,
dropping
Ian
bombs on me
Gillan
there.
did the
Yep, sure did. The
first
studio recording, right? The album?
interpretation. Right.
Yeah.
And I love Ian Gillan.
Yeah. Deep Purple.
In fact, I stumbled into a live concert I hadn't seen or heard from '95 just the other day, and was listening, and man, the band. And it was Richie Blackmore was in it when they came back together for the Perfect Strangers album, but it was, I don't know, a couple years after that, but they were touring, and by golly, they were just tight.
Yeah.
And Ian Pace drumming, boy, just killing it. The whole band was just tight as heck, and I love Ian Gillan.
Yeah.
Always.
He
Scream
did an
like
album with
Ian Gillan.
Sabbath, right?
Yeah.
The Born Again.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, Zero the Hero was on that.
Yeah.
I heard Ian Gillan's story when he saw because it's the baby devil. It's like
Yeah.
a blue background with a baby devil, and there's a story, I don't know if it's true, but where Ian Gillan said when he saw the cover for the first time he threw up.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, what a mess.
I love those guys though, and they're still just crunching. I mean, they've done bazillion records since.
Oh yeah,
then.
yeah, no, for sure. But you know, cultural relevance is at play all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like Ozzy always remained somehow culturally relevant. You know, you had the Osbourne show. I went to Ozfest in 2002. While the show was on, half the people that were there because of the show, not because they were metal fans or anything. You know, it was just he was part of pop culture, and his wife Sharon was a great manager. She was
Yeah.
always keeping him. You know, and he was surrounded by great guitar players. But what I mean, obviously he just passed. Were you an Ozzy fan? Did you have any?
I was such a product of just, I guess, more the 70s.
Yeah.
And I remember when Ozzy's, first solo album came out, and a cousin, oh, you got to hear this, and showed me Crazy Train and stuff, and I thought it was cool. But again, I was just, it was like more of a metal thing or
Yeah.
whatever, and I was just still glued into kind of a different thing. But
Right.
I mean, I love it all.
Yeah. But as far as like pop culture, you've got to admit he's one of the greatest icons. Like,
Oh yeah,
just
yeah.
and not even being that like he didn't play an instrument, he didn't write a lot of the stuff, but
I give him credit for a great talent.
but
his
his-
voice was one of a kind.
it was
different.
unique, but it wasn't that great. He just had a cool sound.
Yeah.
What to me was so great about Ozzy was his enthusiasm and his passion. I saw him, he must have been 50 years old when I saw him in 2002. I don't know exactly how old he was. He ran the whole time.
Yeah.
He got water guns and he was spraying the audience because it was summer.
Yeah.
He was having fun. I mean, I'm sure you've seen concerts where people are just dialing it in and they're just doing it to get the paycheck. That man was having fun, and he was trying to get you to have fun and participate in the concert. And to me, that's what made Ozzy great, was
Yeah.
his passion.
Well, there's no doubt he was amazing. For me, I'm mesmerized by Bruce Dickinson.
I mean, the dude flies the jet.
And he's running every which way, and that repertoire that he sings is over the top.
And he's still hitting those notes?
Well, he's hitting them better than he ever has.
Yeah, what's up with that?
And
Is that
and
just
I'm
good
not sure if
genetics?
he's 67 or
He's up
how old he
there
is now.
somewhere.
But he's ridiculous. And who else was I?
Yeah, man. When we lose Bruce, it's gonna be a tough one. But he's quite a bit younger than Ozzy, and seems to be in pretty good health. But yeah.
And I love Dio.
Oh man, what a tough way to go. The stomach cancer. That's painful.
Well, we saw him on the last tour,
Did you really?
and sure enough, it was right before he had been diagnosed, but he was on that stage with cancer in his stomach singing 68, and just, I mean, I was just blown away. I just, love Dio.
For such
He
a
was-
small statured man, he had one of the most powerful presences.
Yeah.
And I never got to see him live, but just watching live performances of that guy, the confidence he had, and just the way he commanded the stage.
Yeah, so strong. Yeah, so in that kind of heavier thing, that's kind of, I love Dio, love Sabbath with Dio.
They had
and,
some good stuff together.
and
Mob
Iron
Rules
Maiden.
was a good album. Dehumanizer had
Well,
some cool
Heaven and
songs
Hell
on it.
was
Well, the whole Heaven and Hell project, yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, because they had to change the name because Black Sabbath got in it.
Well, I'm talking about the 1980.
Oh,
Heaven and
the original
Hell
album they did. Yeah. No, absolutely.
But yeah,
I've
I
seen-
love the Heaven and Hell project you talked about too. I thought that was totally cool.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a great video of a song that my son wrote, or at least he came up with the riff,
Yeah.
and we have this comedic intro on it that references the Bible Black,
Yeah.
from that
Yeah.
album. It's
Sick track.
It's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild how many, because Tony Martin played in Black Sabbath for like 15 or 20 years, and nobody even knows who that guy is. Like after Dio left and the Dehumanizer album,
He
Tony
wasn't there
Martin.
that long, was he?
I
thought he
I
was-
think he was there for a long time. He did several records with him, like 4
Wow.
or 5 records.
I need to.
And then Tony did some solo stuff, but yeah, I need to look that up. But yeah, Tony Martin was definitely over a decade. Did several tours with him.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's kind of an unsung hero.
yeah.
isn't he?
Nobody really knows who he is. And they did some pretty deep Cross Purposes. Might have been the first album they did. I don't know, but either way. Well, brother, you got a beautiful spot,
I appreciate you
got a
letting
beautiful-
me into your world.
career. I love what you're doing. I hope to see you soon.
If anybody has ideas or insight on anything about any of this, please. I love hearing ideas.
Hit him up.
Thank you,
That's
guys.
the cutest dog. Well, Darren, thanks for doing this, brother.
Thank you.
We'll be seeing each other
Soon.
again soon.
You
Yeah.
got it. Durham.